up, KT Dynasty? If you are a new viewer, hi, hey, hello, how you doing? And welcome to the family. You guys, if you have not done so already, which I don't know why you wouldn't have, but if you haven't, please make sure you smash the subscribe button and hit the little notification bell right next to it, so every single time we drop bangers, you will be one of the first to be notified. And also, while you're here, you might as well like it up for us. In the building today, in the building today, we have the coldest water bottle in the building. First link so that you can be entered into a giveaway to get one of these coldest water bottles, but it's not going to be this little guy right here. It's going to be a big gallon coldest water bottle. You guys are so lucky. Get one of those for free, y'all. Click that link. Also, if you just want a chance to go shopping, do a little splurging, you know, make sure you tap that second make sure you tap that second link in the description box down below where you can use my 10% discount KT for 10% off your purchase. Happy shopping, everybody. Noodles with some shrimp in it, and I'm just gonna dive in, you guys. I'm so starving. That shrimp in there really gives it like an extra kick. It's still steaming. Yes, honey. Yes, honey. Dip it in some of that spicy butter sauce. I guess you guys are wondering what that thumbnail is all about, right? So today, we are going to be talking about when your girl went to jail. Yes, I got locked up and I was in jail for 2 freaking weeks, you guys. It was the longest 2 weeks of my life. It felt like I was in there for like a whole month. Hated it. So, this traces back all the way back to, I don't know. It was a long time ago, back in the day when I used to work at Burger King, and I was with a, can you say this on YouTube? A DICK head, okay? He was a complete idiot, moron, imbecile, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I was with a toxic dude, and it was all bad. Oh yeah. I had both the kids at this time, okay? So I did have both the kids at this time. And I had a bad boyfriend who was just like always up to no good. And my boss at the time was a jerk, okay? He swears up and down he's from the hood, he's from the west side. But if you ask me, and this is not just me being like, oh, he's racist or whatever, but I legit think he was racist. And he used to try to mess with this girl that used to act like she was just so cool with me, but she was in on the scheme the whole freaking time. So, they were teaming up and getting rid of, like, literally all the black people one by one. Like, they were just dropping. You're fired, you're fired, you're fired. And then, he fired me and my boyfriend at the same time. And we were living together. So I was heated, okay? I was heated. When he said those words to me after all the mess he had put me through, my boss, I was like, you know, when it comes to work, I'm such an overachiever. I go above and beyond. And, you know, I do anything you tell me to because, you know, that's what you do. That's just how my work ethic skills are. So, he told me I was fired. He had me come all the way in there. Mind you, at this time, I was on a bus. And I lived on the south side. Okay, so I traveled all the way to West County to get to work, thinking I'm just going to go into work, have a jolly good time. And I believe we were both scheduled at that time. And all of a sudden I walk in, and my ex, he mouths at me. He was like, he's like, you about to get fired. And I'm just like, what? So I'm just like, you know, doing what I got to do, getting my stuff together. And then just out of nowhere, this dude is like, you're fired. I flipped out. I totally blacked out. I started throwing stuff. I was yelling. I was screaming. Somebody even was like, oh my God, I thought you were so nice. And then he just turned into the exorcist. Shut up, because you're a fake, you know. I can't cuss, you guys. So it's hard to, I cuss a lot, so it's hard for me to tell, like, talk and tell a story without, like, cussing or whatever. But yeah, I was like, get out of my face, because you knew about it and you were in on it the whole time. So, my idiot boyfriend, after all this, because I'm like, oh my God, they're going to freaking call the cops on me. My idiot boyfriend went to the bathroom. I don't know what he did with the knobs on the sink. I don't know if he took it with him or what, but he destroyed the property. And I destroyed the property. So it just wasn't a good look. I go into the dining room because that's where my boss at the time decided he was going to sit. And I went in there and I see he's trying to get on his phone. I'm like, what are you doing on your phone? He's like, I'm about to call the cops. I'm about to call the... And I tried to snatch his phone. He told the police officers that I assaulted him. So after that, dipped down to KFC, because that was where my friend at the time worked. She worked down at KFC, so we dipped down there, kind of hid out for a little bit until the bus came. Fast forward 4 years down the line, I'm no longer with the same... Oh, no. Before that, the police had came to our apartment. Okay, we stayed in an apartment. The police came to our apartment. My ex told me not to go down there. It's a setup, da-da-da-da-da. And they kept saying, if you don't come down here, we're going to issue out a warrant for your arrest. And I was like, dang. And I listened to his dumb butt. And sure enough, there was a warrant issued out for my arrest that I had been ducking and dodging for a good 4 years while I was on the bus. As soon as Tyrone and I get a car, we were in Maplewood, getting ready to turn down a dark street, headed on our way home from work because my friend was nice enough to get me and him hired at KFC. So, well, she got me hired first, and then when Tyrone and I got back together, I got him hired, okay? Just like 4 years later or whatever. Me and Tyrone just got our car. I think I either just had a birthday or my birthday was coming up in Maplewood. Turning down a dark road. Didn't see anybody behind us. It was like nobody in sight. All of a sudden, I hit this turn. Forgot to turn my blinker on. All of a sudden, I see these red and blue lights. And I'm like, oh my God. We didn't have insurance on the car. I didn't have a license at the time. Tyrone didn't have his license either. So I'm like, oh my God, we're freaking screwed. So I'm like, oh my God. I never was expecting to go to jail that day. I was never expecting that. But, handed over I didn't even hand over my ID, but, gave him my information. He said, ma'am, please step out of the vehicle. My heart was pounding so bad. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? He was like, you're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be held against you in the court of law, blah, 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 whatever the heck they say. And he asked if I knew I had a warrant. And I said, no. Put me in the back of the cop car and slammed the door. I was freaking out. I'm the type of girl, like, I don't get in trouble like that. I try to avoid getting into trouble. So, I'm in the car, and there's a black cop, mind you. I'm in the car, crying, sweating. My eyes were burning because I had on eyeliner. And from crying and sweating and all that getting in your eyes, my eyes are freaking burning. I'm like, dude, can you loosen up these cups? I'm like, my eyes are burning. And so he's talking all stuff. And the officer called me a bitch. And it's like, I was mad, but what can you do? You're in the back of a cop car. So I calmed down, chunked it up. Then, somewhere before I went to Clayton, right? And, they took my mugshot, whatever. My hair looked a hot mess. I don't know if I should even post my mugshot or not. I'm not going to do that to myself, no. I don't think so. I don't know. I'll think about it. And then, I went into some cells. But there was, girls. There were individual cells. And there were girls and guys, mixed together. And they gave me a Hot Pocket. I was like, cool. I just went through a lot. I'm hungry. I could eat. And then they came and got me, put me in the back of another cop car, and took me to Clayton. And that's where it went down from there. Okay? When I got to Clayton, it took me 3 days to get booked. And I was so freaking mad. Like, I'm like, okay, I did my fingerprints and all this and that. Can we just, like, speed up the process? Because I thought once you get your fingerprints done and everything, you know, then you're good to go. No, that's not the case. But they did give me a complimentary bologna sandwich in a paper bag that I used as a pillow. I'm not about to eat this. I don't know how long this bologna's been sitting out or who's touched it or this, that, and the third. And so 3 days go by. I'm getting kind of irritated because there's this crazy girl in a holding cell next to me. She's freaking out. These handcuffs too tight. Because she was like being all crazy, so they put handcuffs on her. And she eventually ended up in like a restraint chair. Like she was flipping out. I was getting a headache. I'm like, oh my freaking God. So finally, 3 days later, I finally got booked. They make you go through the whole process where you have to like go in this little area with a whole bunch of other girls. You got to strip down butt naked, spread your legs open, and cough to make sure that you guys aren't smuggling any kind of drugs or, you know, hiding anything in your punani or your butthole or whatever. Whew. Yeah. They gave me my uniform and these disgusting looking shoes. And I was put into a cell with a girl that had like she didn't have a nose. It literally looked like somebody bit her nose off. Like, she was really nice. Told me about her love life, but it's like, I'm in here, I'm not trying to make friends with anybody. Like, yeah, I sat there and had a conversation with her, but it's like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm trying to get in and get out. And so, fast forward a little bit. The food was disgusting too, by the way. It was horrible. Every time they had like free time or whatever, like there were some girls. No. Let me rewind. After I went through like all that, they moved me upstairs to some pods. They're called the pods or whatever. The food up there was way better than it was downstairs. Let me tell you that. And I didn't have like any phone calls. I didn't get to make any phone calls. I think I made one phone call to Tyrone. No, I didn't get to call anybody until I was actually upstairs in the pods. And my phone call was like so freaking short. It was literally like 30 seconds. So it's like, okay, I gotta be smart about this. I love my man. Yes, I want to call my man, but can he do anything for me right now? Hell no. I'm gonna call my mom. I called my mom. I was calling her and I talked to her and I was crying. This was after, I think this was like a Monday. I think it was like a Monday because I remember I was in my cell and they were rounding up everybody to go talk to the judge. And they didn't get me. They didn't bring me out to talk to the judge. So I'm infuriated. So I punched the door, messed up my hand. So I was even more mad. And I was just like, God, this can't be the way to go. And then I was happy they finally moved me to a cell by myself. And you guys, once I got a hold of my mom, she literally came to my rescue. And you guys asked me, why didn't you bond yourself out? And da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Honey, Tyrone and I were working at KFC at the time. Minimum wage was probably like $7.35. And we had an apartment. We had 2 babies. You know, so money was a little bit tight. And I think we had just gotten paid and just paid all the bills. So that's why I was in there for so long. And then the fact that I didn't even get it to make a phone call until like the end of it. Yeah. But all in all, my mom bonded me out or bailed me out, whatever the heck you call it. And I love my freaking mom. I don't know where I would be or what I would be doing if it wasn't for my mom. But, yeah, and then I think while I was in there, I, like, came on my period or something. Like, I know y'all don't want to hear that while, you know, eating or whatever. But while I was in there, I came on my period. And, you know, they give you these freaking old granny panty looking underwear. And I told the guard, I was like, can I get a different pair of underwear? I just started my period. Wash them out in the sink. With this, I'm like, you want me to wash these underwear out with the same bar of soap, this little ski bar of soap that I'm supposed to use to wash my body with? Ooh, child. Being in jail is something else, let me tell you. And to this day, I'm scared to death of cops. I'm scared to death of cops. I swear to God. Huh? Oh, okay. I'm scared to death of cops. I never want to go back to jail ever again. So now, I try to be a good girl. Try to control my anger. Do some breathing exercises before you snap. And yeah. And then Tyrone's sister picked me up from Clayton. And mind you, the clothes they gave me were not the same clothes that I came there with. I had on some jeans that were way too freaking tight for me. They wouldn't even go all the way up my butt. And this ugly shirt. I just looked a hot mess. And she came to pick me up. And she was just dying laughing. She was like, you smell like jail. And yeah. I just like the only thing I had on my mind is that I want to take a shower. A hot freaking hard pressured shower. I couldn't wait to get home and take a shower. And see my kids, of course. But they were so little at the time, they didn't really know, like, you know, they were so little at the time. Thank God. But yeah, you guys, that's the story on how I went to jail. Don't ever drive through Maplewood. Maplewood cops are buttholes. Yeah, this food is... Yeah. I know this is kind of long, you guys, but it's like, looking back on it now, it's funny, but at the time it wasn't funny. And I think I want to do another video of Tyrone's perspective on the whole thing. Probably in the next video. I'm going to get him to do a video with me on that. But crazy times, you guys. Crazy times. Literally, me and him have been through so much. You don't even know. And I'm always the one to get in trouble. Like, I'm always just getting into something, dude. Like, I don't understand. Even when I try to stay out of trouble, I'm in trouble. Story of my life. I'm not, like, a criminal, you guys. I'm just, like... I just can't. I don't want to be in jail all my life and surviving off of noodles. You know how big I would get in jail? I got big just during this pandemic from eating noodles because they were like low on meat and seafood. Pretty much all the stuff I like to eat, they were low on. So I had to eat like just like... And they barely had noodles left. I blew up like a freaking balloon. And then on top of that, I'm on Depo. So, jail, eating noodles every freaking day, I can't. I mean, that's not jail, that's prison, but, you know, I can't. Put me on house arrest or something so I can still live my life. But yeah, you guys, that about wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed that little story time. This video was a little longer than I intended it to be, but it's all good, you guys. I feel like our family is growing, and I just want to open up to you guys a little bit more, you know? So, I will see y'all in the next video.